The next one, and this is a big one, this is something which I found really useful at university. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rohan. I'm a third year medical student studying at Cambridge University. And yeah, as you guessed by this video title and when it's coming out, there are a lot of people who are about to enter university for the first time, and congratulations on everyone for getting their grades and heading off to university soon. That's wonderful. I thought I'd just make this video just to share some 10 tips which I thought were quite useful. Some of these come from my own personal experience, but I also asked around some of my friends to see if they had any suggestions as to what things we can do to just make sure that we're staying healthy and happy and yeah, basically not breaking down, because coming out of the home environment for the first time can be quite intense. So hopefully this video will help. Just a disclaimer, I'm not trying to say this is the only way you can do university. Not even I did all of these things. Some of them I researched or asked other friends. These are just some things which I think, looking back and reflecting, would be helpful information for me to know if I was entering university again for the first time. So enough of the preamble, let's just go right into some of the tips. And the first one, and the most obvious, just to join loads of societies. I think in first year it's good just to try lots of different things. Yeah, joining societies is a great way to meet like-minded people who have similar interests to you. From my personal example, like joining the Christian Union has pretty much revolutionized my life, has really changed the way I view my faith. Yeah, I couldn't imagine a world where I haven't got involved in like church and CU activities. But then the great thing about university is like there's so many different people from different backgrounds and so many niche interests which you only really find at university. So for example, I tried out a sport called ultimate frisbee, and I really just find it so hilarious, and just how the frisbee just floats in midair. So I really enjoyed getting stuck into that in first year. Maybe one tip to try find like all these like new things you haven't tried out before but are considering to do is go to the Freshers Fair. There's usually a big convention right at the start of term. You can just sign up for loads of like mailing lists and just get loads of different societies like term cards. Even though your email might get spammed a bit, you're at least aware of what's going on, and then you can decide later on if you want to go to something or not. Another reason why I think societies are important is just in universities there's actually quite a lot of free time. Your time is a lot less structured than at school. So it's really good to try fill that time with like high density fun. So doing societies, like meeting up with people. There is a risk that you just fill that vacuum just sitting on your bed and scrolling your phone. And although that's not a bad thing to do from time to time, just to like completely have like physical inactivity, it's not really what the default should be. On a similar vein, particularly in the first term, I'd highly recommend making socializing your priority. So at least on level with your degree, but in a way it's okay to prioritize socializing a little bit higher at the start, because at least in my personal experience, and this is maybe one of my regrets of first year, is it's harder to form friends once social groups have been established. And yeah, this is definitely something I've experienced the hard way, and being a bit too scared just to put the degree on the back burner for a bit and go explore different social occasions. It is important to find balance between your degree and socializing, but particularly in first term where everyone is like just wanting to form new relationships and things, it's really good just to try mix with lots of different people. And then later on you can decide maybe like who do I want to commit a long-term friendship to, or a more deeper friendship, and that type of thing. Number 3, this is a bit different but really resonates with me, and this is to have a consistent sleep schedule. Personally for me, this was like a superpower. For me, I make sure I try get at least 8 hours of sleep a night. This just really like supercharged my ability just to focus. I basically, on the weekends, I never really slept in too much, and I'd make sure like during the week, I wouldn't pull all-nighters even if there was a lot of work. Even if I was hanging out with friends, I'd make sure to try to come back by midnight or something. So I always had a pretty stable going to sleep time and waking up time. That made sure that my energy levels were fairly consistent and I didn't crash. The thing is, because there is no structure and you're away from your parents for like the first time, there is a tendency, and I have observed this with people, to like pull out all-nighters or just hang out with your friends until 4 a.m. This not only wrecks like the following day, but it wrecks the rhythm of the week, because I mean the following day you're gonna have a really bad day and just be napping the whole day, and then you need to catch up for all the work you missed that day. I feel having a consistent sleep schedule can really stop a lot of things going wrong. Number 4, and this is again to do with health, and this is to look after your mental and physical health, so fairly self-explanatory. Make sure that you're getting good sleep, as we talked about, but also get your exercise in, eating well. This is important, particularly as some students miss their parents cooking a lot and resort to eating too many takeaways and eating at irregular times and things. Just learning how to cook, let's say 3 or 4 dishes, that's probably the limits of my cooking, can help you have a more consistent diet because you know what's going into your body and you can control that, make sure you get your vegetables and things. And then mental health, obviously hugely important, just as important as physical health. Being okay with just sharing with someone if you're having difficulties, or even asking your parents for advice or something. There's no shame in doing these things, and yeah, it's really important that you have good mental health as well. Next on the list is, okay, so this is not really a tip, but like just kind of an observation, is that there will be ups and downs, and in general I think university environment is just so much more intense than at school. Like at school every day was pretty much the same, it was really well structured, but at university, because everything's just kind of new, I don't know, I just felt my emotions kind of were very high one day and then very low. Well, I say very, I mean, take that with a pinch of salt. It wasn't that bad. But I did kind of feel this kind of shifting nature, and that's actually something which you can take heart from, because even if you are having a couple of bad days, things will improve, don't worry. The next tip, again, it's kind of an observation, but no one really cares about what you're doing. So lots of people, there's this thing called the spotlight effect, where you think that everyone's just watching what you're doing and judging you, but pretty much everyone's just concerned about themselves. Everyone's concerned that they won't be able to make friends, so no one's really too bothered about what you do. This should just give you the license just to be yourself. I know it sounds cliche, but people will genuinely respect you for your authenticity, and this is something which I've noticed when sharing my faith with other people. Like, obviously most of my non-Christian friends don't share my faith. They still respect the fact that I'm open to discussing issues where we differ on, and yeah, somehow even in our differences we're able to come close together. So that's been something really positive. So the next tip, and I have no idea what number this is, but don't put too much pressure on yourself during Freshers Week. I know many people are anxious about, again, just in general, everyone is, about meeting new friends, how they'll come across and things. I know for some people, they're worried about the alcohol culture at university. You know, like Freshers Week, it's a weird one. At Cambridge, it was literally just like a Freshers 3 days, and we were like straight into lectures because term starts so late. I don't know what to think of Freshers Week. Like, nothing much really happened. Well, nothing much of significance, because I've heard this with a lot of people, and that the people that you hang out with in Freshers Week aren't necessarily the people you're going to have like deep friendships with. So like, don't put too much pressure on yourself to come across a certain way or make friends, because it's really like later down the line, when you start to get to know people a bit better, that's where like all like the magic happens and like memories are formed and things. So the next one, and this is a big one, this is something which I found really useful at university, and this is to make friends with people in the years above. In university, I think age doesn't matter as much as school. Like in school, I don't know, I felt like inter-year friendships and things weren't that common, because you're freshers, you know, your first time away from home. Some seniors have been really nice to me, in particular, just to make me feel welcome, and I think this is true for many people. Even the Cambridge has this weird like parent system, so you get paired up with a couple of people in the years above, and it's just a really nice family thing. And then you can even like ask your seniors for their resources. So I asked some people at church, and they very kindly gave me their Anki cards, so that was really helpful. And also, one more thing is like, because the courses do change quite often, different subjects will change what content they want to teach, sometimes actually asking people in the year above for advice is more reliable than your actual teachers, who have maybe lost touch a bit and, you know, have been teaching the same thing for the last 30 years. People above you, they know exactly what you've been through, and they can give some really good advice. So yes, please, please, please don't be afraid to go say hi to people in the years above. So our penultimate tip is to go to lectures. It's actually a really good way just to meet people. I used to go to all the lectures, even like the really boring ones which no one used to attend. Yeah, I just used to try sit next to someone new and just introduce myself, say hi. Most people, you know, they just say hi and then we'd get on with our lives. But some people I actually formed like really nice friendships with. So then we always used to go like 5-10 minutes early to the lecture, sit there, find a good seat, and then just ask how we've been. Lectures is just honestly a really good way to socialize. So yeah, I really feel sorry for people who were affected by the pandemic, because obviously with online lectures this is not possible. And the final tip, and again, this is a bit strange, this is something which I kind of resonated with again when I was searching the internet, is don't worry about finding love or anything. Don't worry that you're single and you're not able to get into a relationship. That's absolutely fine. And there's particularly this one video which I came across online, and like, you know, there are different phases in life, and I think it was from this guy called Captain Sinbad. He's another one of these productivity YouTubers. Talking from my personal experience, I'm very much in the phase of life where I'm learning and acquiring new skills, and things like girlfriends and relationships in the future. I think that's something for me like 5-10 years down the line. I think now I just need to get my head down and focus, and that's absolutely fine. And this advice won't hold true for everyone. Some people, you know, if you find the right person, then I guess go for it. There's no harm in trying, but don't put pressure on yourself to try find your husband or wife, because there's absolutely no need. We have a lot more time than we think. That kind of brings us to the end of this video. I think we had 10 tips in there. Hopefully some of them were useful, and some of them giving you some ideas on how we can approach like the first year of uni, because it is such a difference compared to being at school. But honestly, you'll have an amazing time, and as I say, the best years of your life are ahead of you now. If you like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Anyway, take care and bye for now.